Please be seated. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Let me say it's a pleasure to join you all this morning as we launch this most important geospatial project. Indeed, I am very pleased to see so many of you from different departments, young and old, especially our young people, who are leaders not only of today but of tomorrow. And it is your knowledge, and the knowledge that you are imparting, creating opportunities, it is this that is helping our country move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, as we receive the report on the status progress made by the multi-agency team on joint national mapping and national resource mapping projects, this is part of a direction that I gave in May 2018, and I believe it is important for us to pause and ask ourselves why survey and mapping are necessary. We reckon that the first step in Kenya's journey to be a better and brighter tomorrow begins by us knowing where we are and what resources we as a nation have. These survey and mapping projects are necessary because for far too long, Kenya has relied on inaccurate and outdated maps, some of them developed before our independence, for our physical planning, our boundaries and demarcation processes, mapping of our natural resources, and other planning requirements. In the face of these challenges, our nation was forced to rely on maps and geospatial data sourced from private entities. These maps and data done by the private sector were not only unfairly expensive, but often inconsistent and not standardized. The consequence of old and outdated maps on the one hand, and expensive and inconsistent private sector maps on the other, are plain to see. Our urban areas have been developed in a fashion that has posed major challenges in terms of both physical planning and service delivery. Furthermore, billions of shillings in potential tax and revenue levies for both the national and county governments lies uncollected due to the challenges in identification and assessment process that require accurate and timely maps. This phenomenon has also reached our geological and extractive resource sectors, where we have long lacked the detailed and accurate maps to fully benefit from the wealth of resource that lie beneath our feet. Recognizing that the situation had become no longer acceptable and that firm and decisive action was required, I chose to act. Having done the necessary groundwork during my first tenure, as I earlier indicated, in May of last year, I sanctioned the establishment of the Joint National Mapping and National Resource Mapping projects, which drew representation from a broad spectrum of government agencies and departments. This multi-agency team, as we have heard, has thus far updated 75 topographical maps and drawn 6 full county maps, in addition to digitizing the cadastral plans for Nairobi City County. The cadastral maps for the capital city heralds a new era in urban development and blazes the trail for other counties across the area for their operations, from physical planning to revenue collection to environmental conservation, by showing how detailed and accurate maps can spur both development and service delivery. The relevant agencies are therefore put on notice that they are expected to take full advantage and fully embrace this 21st century technology to ensure that our urban areas are well planned, orderly, and also exhibit the standards of living that all Kenyans both desire and deserve. But ladies and gentlemen, I would also ask you at this moment to join me in extending the heartfelt thanks of a grateful nation to the men and women of this task force for their diligence and hard work. In less than a year, they have developed a blueprint, the likes of which few countries in our position have managed. And indeed, at minimal cost, thus saving our nation enormous sums of money. I can inform the nation that our initial projections that we were working on had indicated that the production of a single map sheet would cost the country approximately Kenya shillings 148 million. However, these brilliant young men and women, through their multi-agency effort, have produced a single map for less than Kenya shillings 70,000. Hongera sana. I cannot cheat you. From visiting and the number of times I have been able to interact with these wonderful people, I can say that they are not only out there keeping us safe day and night, but they are also extending themselves, working quietly, consistently, diligently, patriotically. Wakati sisi tunapiga makelele huko, hawa wanafanya kazi. Amen. And it shows what this country can achieve. If only we can just focus our efforts on the right thing. On the right thing. Wanatulinda, wanawapatia maps. Nyinyi huko ni kelele. Kelele kila huyu anaingiliana ule anatusi huyu anafanya ile, ule anataka kuonekana kwa gazeti. Hawa hawaonekani kwa magazeti, lakini wana produce. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hongera. Really, I am very proud of you. And I think the whole nation is very proud of you. Congratulations, and keep up the great work. Initial estimates for the nationwide airborne geophysical survey had indicated, just the airborne geophysical survey, that the project would cost the country Kenya shillings 7 billion. But through pooling of resources from different ministries and agencies, we have cut that cost to Kenya shillings 2 billion. The present case is the latest in a long string of successes for multi-agency teams, leveraging on synergies and competencies of our various agencies, as well as the economies of scale. We have secured encouraging results for the nation. Great success has been achieved by our multi-agency teams in a number of flagship national projects, including LAPSET, the SGR, the Blue Economy, immigration and border security, counter-terrorism, environmental conservation and rejuvenation, as well as the fight against corruption. This shows that the multi-agency model is an effective strategy that should be deployed across the full spectrum of government. Once complete, the projects will provide government agencies with the necessary data to spur enhanced and more efficient delivery of their mandates. Let me point out that the benefits of this project will not just be limited to the public sector. Indeed, the private sector will derive tremendous benefits through opening up opportunities in infrastructure development, e-commerce, extractive industries, as well as our 24-hour economy. At present, ladies and gentlemen, we must also recognize that between the national government and our county governments, we utilize 11 different revenue collection systems, which do not integrate with those used even by the national government, or even those used by other counties. The bottom line is that this has severely limited the amount of revenue collected by the national government, but also by our counties. To eliminate this duplication of efforts and waste of resources, I do hereby direct the Commission on Revenue Allocation, the Council of Governors, and the National Treasury, as well as the Kenya Revenue Authority, to come together in a multi-agency team whose principal aim shall be to deliver on a single revenue collection system that is integrated with the national government system and that can be used across all our 47 counties. Working on the new revenue collection system, this task force should also ensure that it takes into account the work of the Joint Mapping National Task Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to close with a special word of thanks to the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology, led by CS Musheru, to the Ministry of Interior, led by CS Matiang'i, to the Ministry of Defense, led by CS Omamo, to the Ministry of Lands, through the Survey of Kenya, and all other government departments that have been involved to make this project a success. I really look forward to us completing this wonderful project. I wish you luck, and once again, on behalf of a grateful nation, I say thank you to JNAM and the good work that you continue to do. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Your Excellency. After the national anthem, we will most humbly request for one photo opportunity with the JNAM team at the entrance of KICC. Tusimame sote kwa wimbo wa taifa.